gentlemen. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chuka Modi, and I welcome you to the annual general meeting of Ellah Lakes PLC. Unfortunately, our chairman, Mr. Olabode Akande, is unavoidably absent, and I've been nominated by the directors to stand in for the chairman in this meeting. So the time is now, ladies and gentlemen, formally, I would like to welcome you to the annual general meeting of Ellah Lakes PLC. I'm Chuka Modi, the managing director of the company, standing in for Olabode Akande, the chairman. It is now 18 minutes past 11, and as I have been informed by the company secretary that the requisite quorum is present, I declare this meeting open. I would now like to introduce the board of directors of the company who have dialed in via Zoom are present at this meeting. Ms. Nena Onyewuchi, Mr. Shehu Abubakar, Ms. Osaro Oyegun, Mr. Gbubami Jakpa, Enotie Ogbebor, Hawa Nuru, Mr. Chijike Dozie, and Mr. Joe Atway. The representative of the auditors of the company, Mr. Olabode Akande, whose reports we shall be taking during the meeting. I would also like to introduce Ms. Ezezika of Oak Legal, our company secretary, our registrars Cardinal Stone Limited, represented by Mr. Raymond Akokota, Ms. Omolara Kalejaye, and Temitope Bankole. The Nigeria Stock Exchange is here, ably represented by Ms. Brenda Duke, and we have a representative of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Dame Bolu Olusoji. The company has received the consent of the Corporate Affairs Commission to convene this annual general meeting through the use of proxies in keeping with the COVID-19 protocols of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. I will now invite Mrs. Ezezika to read out the list of proxies and confirm their attendance. Mrs. Ezezika will now confirm the list of proxies.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Shareholders, the proxies are Mr. Chuka Modi, present. Ms. Osaro Oyegun, present. Mr. Banji Olubuson, present. Mr. Mena Ajabofi, present. And Bishop Goodluck Akpome, present. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Ezezika. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to start the formal proceedings of this annual general meeting. The notice of the meeting, together with the explanatory notes, was published in The Guardian and in Business Day on 9th of November 2020. I will, however, now invite the company secretary, represented by Mrs. Ezezika, to read the notice of the meeting. Ms. Ezezika will now read the notice of the meeting.
Notice is hereby given that the annual general meeting of Ellah Lakes PLC will hold at the workstation number 7 Ibiyinka Olorunbe Close.
Unmute yourself.
Victoria Island, Lagos, on Friday, 11 December 2020 at 11 a.m. to transact the following ordinary business. 1, to receive the audited financial statements of the company for the year ended July 31, 2020, and the reports of the directors, auditors, and audit committee thereon. 2, to re-elect directors retiring by rotation. 3, to appoint Mr. Charles Anajemba as a director of the company. 4, to reappoint Olabode Akande Co as the auditors of the company. 5, to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of auditors. And 6, to elect members of the audit committee. Compliance with COVID-19 related directives and guidelines. Following the restriction on gatherings and in adherence to social distancing directives due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Corporate Affairs Commission issued guidelines on holding AGM of public companies by proxies. The convening and conduct of the AGM shall be in compliance with the CAC's guideline. Proxy. A member of the company entitled to attend and vote is entitled to appoint a proxy to attend and vote in his stead. A proxy need not be a member of the company. The proxy form is enclosed to the annual report. To be valid, a proxy form must be completed in accordance with the instructions contained in the form, stamped by the Commissioner of Stamp Duties, and deposited at the registered office of the company's registrar, Cardinal Stone Registrars, not less than 48 hours before the scheduled time of the meeting. In line with the CAC guidelines, attendance of this AGM shall be by proxies only. Shareholders are required to appoint a proxy from the list of nominated proxies below: Mr. Chuka Modi, Ms. Osaro Oyego, Mr. Banji Olubuson, Mr. Mena Ajagbovi, and Bishop Goodluck Akure. The company has made arrangements at its cost for the stamping of the duly completed and signed proxy forms submitted to the company's registrars within the stipulated time. The AGM will be streamed live online. This will enable shareholders and other stakeholders who will not be attending physically to follow the proceedings. The AGM will be streamed via Zoom and YouTube, and the link will be shared to the shareholders at least 48 hours before the scheduled date of the AGM. The register of members and transfer books of the company will be closed from 11 November to 15 November 2020, both dates inclusive, to enable the registrar to make necessary preparations for the AGM. In accordance with Section 259 of the Company and Allied Matters Act, Mr. Shehu Abubakar, Mrs. Hawa Nuru, and Mr. Enotie Ogbebor will retire by rotation, and being eligible, they offer themselves up for re-election. In accordance with Section 359 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, any shareholder may nominate another shareholder for appointment to the audit committee. Such nomination shall be in writing and delivered to the company secretary at least 21 days before the annual general meeting. Shareholders reserve the right to ask questions at the annual general meeting. Shareholders may also submit their questions prior to the meeting in writing to the company, in line with Rule 19.12C of the Listing Rules of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Such questions must be addressed to the company secretary by electronic mail at secretariat@oaklegal.com, not later than 7 days before the date of the meeting, dated this 6th day of November 2020. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mrs. C. of the Articles of Association of our company. We are now calling the registrars to give a report of the proxy received. Of the proxies received. Cardinal Stone, registrars.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everybody. I welcome you to the annual general meeting of Ellah Lakes PLC. As registrars, we are here to deliver the proxy report for this meeting. We received a total of 11 duly executed proxies amounting to 1,601,446,100 units. And this constitutes approximately 80.07% of the issued share capital of the company. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. The voting today will be conducted by poll. May I remind you that shareholders are entitled to 1 vote per share. Shareholders who have duly appointed the proxy have also indicated the manner in which the proxy should vote on such resolution on the instrument appointing the proxy. These have been collated and will be displayed by the registrar in respect of each resolution. With your permission, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to proceed by dealing with questions relating to each resolution immediately before that resolution is put to the meeting. The first business of this meeting is to receive the audited financial statements of the company for the year ended July 31st, 2020, and the reports of the directors, auditors, and audit committee thereon. The first item on the agenda is to receive the audited financial statements of the company for the year ended July 31st, 2020. By the provisions of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, the directors of the company are required to lay before this meeting the last audited financial statements and reports which are contained in the company's annual report. Copies of the 2020 annual reports were sent to all the shareholders and have been distributed to the shareholders present today. The report is also available on the company's NSE portal, the company's website, and the website of the registrars for download. The original accounts and copies duly signed are available at this meeting for verification. I will now call on Mr. Olabode Akande to present the auditor's report. Mr. Olabode Akande.
Good morning. The auditor's report to the members of Ellah Lakes PLC. We have audited the financial statements of Ellah Lakes PLC, which comprise the statement of financial position as at 31st July 2020, and the statement of comprehensive income, statement of changes in equity, and statement of cash flow for the year then ended, and notes to the financial statement, including a summary of significant accounting policies. In our opinion, the accompanying financial statement give a true and fair view of the financial position of Ellah Lakes PLC as at 31st July 2020, its financial performance and its cash flow for the year then ended on that date. And it complies with Companies and Allied Matters Act, Cap C20, Law of Federal Republic of Nigeria, 2004, and the applicable international financial reporting standards in the manner required by the Federal Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria. The basis of our opinion, we conducted our audits in accordance with international standards on auditing. Our responsibility under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the financial statement section of our report. We are independent of the company in accordance with the International Ethics Standard Board for Accountants Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, together with the ethical requirements that are relevant to our audit of the financial statements in Nigeria. And we have fulfilled our other ethical responsibilities in accordance with these requirements. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. But during the audit, there are some key audit matters. As a result of the inactivity of the company since 2016, returns were not made to the tax authority, and as such, the tax position of the company could not be ascertained. Since the company did not make profit, the likelihood of a tax liability is remote. As at yesterday, we have made arrangement to send the tax returns to the tax authority. Now, responsibility of the directors for the financial statement. The directors are responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of these financial statements, which are in compliance with the requirements of both Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria and the Companies and Allied Matters Act. This responsibility includes designing, implementing, and maintaining internal control relevant to the preparation and fair presentation of the financial statement that are free from material misstatement, selecting and applying appropriate accounting policies, and making accounting estimates that are reasonable in the circumstances. Auditor's responsibility. Our responsibility is to express an independent opinion on this financial statement based on our audit. We conducted our audit in accordance with Nigerian standards on auditing issued by Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. Those standards require that we comply with ethical requirements and plan and perform the audit to obtain reasonable assurance that the financial statements are free from material misstatements. An audit involves performing procedures to obtain audit evidence about the amounts and disclosure in the financial statements. The procedures selected depend on the auditor's judgment, including the assessment of the risk of material misstatement of the financial statement. In making those risk assessments, we as auditors consider internal control relevant to the entity's preparation and fair presentation of the financial statement in order to design audit procedures that are appropriate in the circumstances, but not for the purpose of expressing an opinion on the effectiveness of the entity's internal control. An audit also includes evaluating the appropriateness of accounting policies used and the reasonableness of accounting estimates made by the directors, as well as evaluating the overall presentation of the financial statement. Other legal regulatory requirements. The Companies and Allied Matters Act 2004 requires that in carrying out our audit, we consider and report to you on the following matters. And we confirm that, 1, we have obtained all the information and explanations which to the best of our knowledge and belief were necessary for the purpose of our audit. 2, in our opinion, proper books of account have been kept by the company. And 3, the company's statement of financial position and profit or loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of accounts. This was signed on the 29th of October, 2020. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Akande. I will now call on Ms. Osaro Oyegun, the chairman of the Audit Committee, to present the report of the Audit Committee to the members. Ms. Osaro Oyegun.
Good morning. Report of the Audit Committee to the members of Ellah Lakes PLC. In accordance with the provisions of Section 3596 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004, we, the members of the Audit Committee of Ellah Lakes PLC, having carried out our statutory functions under the Act, hereby report that A, the accounting and reporting policies of the company are consistent with legal requirements and ethical practices. B, we reviewed the scope and planning of the external audits for the period ended July 31, 2020, and we confirmed that they are adequate. C, we have considered the independent auditor's post-audit report and management's responses thereon and are satisfied thereto. Members of the Audit Committee are Osaro Oyegun, myself, Director's Representative, Augustine Ezechukwu, Shareholders Representative, Wilfred Edopai, Shareholders Representative, Olubosun Banji, Shareholders Representative, Nenna Onyewuchi, Director's Representative, Enotie Ogbebor, Director's Representative. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Oyegun. Can the Company Secretary confirm if they have received any questions on the reports and financial statements for the year ended 31st July? Mrs. Ezezika. Do the proxies have any questions or comments on the reports and financial statements for the year ended 31st July 2020? If there are no further comments or questions, I propose that a member move a motion for the acceptance of the annual reports and accounts for the year ended 31st July 2020. Okay, moved by Bishop Akbore. Can we get a member to second the motion moved? I move. Thank you very much. Can the registrars please display the votes for this resolution?
On the resolution to present the financial statements of the company and the consolidated accounts for the financial year ended 31st July 2020, and reports of the directors, auditors, and audit committee thereon, we have 100% votes in favor of this resolution, amounting to 1,601,446,100 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I declare the resolution carried. Next is the re-election of directors. The next item on the agenda is the re-election of directors. In accordance with Section 285 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, 1/3 of the directors of the company for the time being shall retire at this AGM and, being eligible, offer themselves for re-election. I call on the Secretary to read out the retiring director for the 2020 financial year. Mrs. Ezezika.
Okay, the retiring directors are Mr. Shehu Abubakar, Mrs. Hawa Nuru, and Mr. Enotie Ogbebor.
I will now call on any shareholder to move the motion for the re-election of the retired directors by a single resolution. Moved by Bishop Akbore. Can I get a member to second the motion? Seconded by Wilfred Edupai. May I now? Thank you. I declare the resolution carried. Now that the motion for the re-election of the directors. Okay, may I now call members and by a show of hands to vote? First, those in favor? Those against? Thank you. I declare the resolution carried. Now that the motion for the re-election of the directors by a single resolution has been carried, I propose that a member move the motion that the aforesaid Mr. Shehu Abubakar, Mrs. Hawa Nuru, and Mr. Enotie Ogbebor be and are hereby re-elected as directors of the company. Can I get a member to second? Seconded by Bishop. Can the registrars please display the votes for this resolution?
On the resolution to re-elect retiring directors, Mr. Shehu Abubakar, Mrs. Hawa Nuru, and Mr. Enotie Ogbebor, we have 100% votes in favor of this resolution, amounting to 1,601,446,100 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I declare the resolution carried. Appointment of Mr. Charles Anajemba as director of the company. The next business of the day is to appoint Mr. Charles Anajemba as director of the company. Can the company secretary please read his profile? Company secretary. Could you just read out, please?
Mr. Charles Anajemba has over 15 years experience in the oil and gas and FMCG industries. He began his career at Dolphin Drilling as a rig electrician and then went on to Guinness, Nigeria, where he worked as project manager, engineering, operational excellence manager, and engineering projects. In those roles, he led the Guinness Nigeria optimization and expansion project and also worked on perfecting the plant management system and enhancing productivity for the Edo State plant. He left Guinness Nigeria to Spud Consultancy and Services, where he currently serves as the managing director. Mr. Anajemba is certified as a project management professional and is a member of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria. He has a BSc in Electrical and Electronics Engineering from the University of Port Harcourt and an MBA from the University of Benin.
Thank you. I now call on any shareholder. I now call any shareholder to move the motion for the appointment of Mr. Anajemba as director. Okay, Mr. Wilfred Edepai. Can I get a member to second the motion? Okay, Olubosun Banji. Can the registrars display the votes for this resolution, please?
On the resolution to appoint Mr. Charles Anajemba as director of the company, we have 100% votes in favor of this resolution, amounting to 1,601,446,100 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Registrar. I declare the resolution carried. Reappointing Olabode Akande Co as auditors of the company. The next business of the day is to reappoint Olabode Akande Co as auditors of the company. Messrs. Olabode Co have indicated their willingness to continue to act as auditors for the company. I now call on any shareholders to move for the reappointment of Olabode Akande Co. Mr. Augustine Ezechukwu, and seconded by Bishop Akbore. Can the registrars display the votes for this resolution, please?
On the resolution to reappoint Olabode Akande Co as the auditors of the company, we have 100% votes in favor of this resolution, amounting to 1,601,446,400 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I declare the resolution carried. Authorizing directors to fix remuneration of auditors. The next business of the day is to declare and fix remuneration of the auditors appointed for financial year ending 31st July 2021. Section 4081B of CAMA stipulates that the remuneration of the external auditors shall be determined by the company in general meetings or in such manner as the company in general meetings may determine. May I call on a shareholder to move the motion that the directors be and are hereby authorized to fix the remuneration of the auditors for the year ending 31st July 2021. Thank you. And seconded by Bishop Akbore. Can the registrars display the votes for this resolution?
On the resolution to authorize the directors to fix remuneration of the auditors, we have 100% vote in favor of this resolution, amounting to 1,601,446,100 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I declare the resolution carried. Audit Committee. Next item on the agenda is the election of shareholders of the company to the statutory audit committees for the financial year ending July 31st, 2021. Section 404 of the CAMA mandates that each public company shall establish an audit committee and establishes the functions of the committee. The committee shall consist of 5 members comprising 3 representatives of the shareholders of the company and 2 non-executive directors. Members of the committee shall not be entitled to remuneration and shall be subject to re-election yearly. The board has approved the re-election of the following 2 directors to serve on the audit committee for the financial year ending 31st July 2021. Mr. Osaro Oyiegun and Ms. Nene Onyewuchi. Can the company secretary please read out nominations received for the election into the audit committee?
The company secretary has received 3 nominations for the election of the following members to represent the shareholders' interests on the audit committee. They are Pastor Edopai Wilfred, nominated by Mr. Igbebor Osenwege Semi. 2, Mr. Olubosun Banji, nominated by Mr. Olugosun Ario Ayo. And 3, Mr. Ezechukwu Augustine Nnemeka, nominated by Mr. Olubosu Banji.
I note that these members are also the current shareholders' representatives on the audit committee and are required. I now call on the member to move the motion for the re-election of the aforementioned shareholders' representatives on the audit committee. Moved by Bishop Akbore. Can a member second the motion? Wilfred Edepai. The following 3 persons re-elected to represent the shareholders on the audit committee for the year ending July 31st, 2021. They are Pastor Wilfred Adekbai, Mr. Olubosun Banji, and Mr. Ezechukwu Augustine Nnemeka. The audit committee therefore has the following membership: Mr. Sarah Yegun, Ms. Nena Onyeuchi, Pastor Wilfred Adekbai, Mr. Banji Olubosun, Mr. Augustine Ezechukwu Nnemeka. Now that the agenda for the day has been treated, we move on to any other business. In the absence of any other business, can someone move a motion for the closing of this meeting, please?
I want to move it, but I want to show great appreciation. Sorry. I want to show. I want to really show appreciation. I came when I saw the reports, how things are going, because I started with you remember. Ellah Lakes was dead, then. You investors, the zone brought it up, and today is preaching. It's what the praises, it's what commendation, it's what if companies in Nigeria. I sat on the TCPC that time of transition. I know what many things that happen in this country. This one is an exception, very nice one. So I commend you. I saw your chairman's statement where we were talking of transformation. And you went into oil, you went to cassava. Beautiful. And then, of course, I'm not talking of figures now, because what you have done on page 62, the value added, you have reduced even the money that you made, debts that you made, you have reduced. That's wonderful. So that associated with you, associated with the new people, associated with it. So that's why I'm trying to put my card, otherwise I would have videoed it. So if anybody sees me, Bishop is there. They may not know why I have to do it. I did it because you are not letters now. So I'm praying for you. Don't worry. You are moving and you surely be successful.
Thank you very much.
So I want to thank all of you for everything. And so I move this meeting.
Thank you, Bishop. And the person second motion is Ezechukwu Augustine. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the business of the meeting. I now declare this meeting closed. I thank you on behalf of the board, management, and staff of our company for attending this meeting and showing so much interest in the affairs of Ellah Lakes PLC.